had, a huge company doing really well at 22, making 6 figures, and I lost everything when COVID happened. I do not like business coaches specifically who've never run a business. It doesn't make sense to me, just like I don't like Instagram coaches who have never actually done Instagram before and they've got 1,000 followers. It doesn't make sense.
Do you feel that in the UK we do celebrate victimhood too much?
You're either building an empire and destroying it.
So Sabrina, it's good to have you here.
Thank you for the invite. I'm excited.
Me too. So let's start this off with something fun. What's a fact that nobody knows about you?
I used to be an MMA fighter.
Huh? In what life?
I trained in kickboxing and MMA for about 3 years.
Really?
Yeah, I competed. I got to the finals of a competition. When you get to the finals of an MMA competition, it basically means you got beat up in the finals. But it was really fun.
Well, I can imagine. That's crazy. Yeah, that's definitely a fun fact no one knows about you. Wow. So
it's not usually my opening line either.
So where did the interest come from for MMA?
It started off with kickboxing, and then it just gradually turned into jiu-jitsu and then MMA. I just wanted to have that, I guess, toughness about me. I was pretty soft when I was growing up because I've just played tennis and it's quite a soft sport. So I wanted to help bring out that aggressive side in a sport. So I thought, why not?
Wow, tennis yeah, definitely different. Cool. So, right, let's jump into the PR stuff. Now, I think one of the things that people fail to understand with PR, in my opinion, you're the expert, so you can tell me, but I feel that people assume that if they pay for PR or have some sort of PR, that they should just automatically get leads, their business grows, etc. But of course, a lot of it is to do with awareness and to build on their awareness, right? To build that brand equity. So yeah, what's your opinion on that? Because I assume you have loads of messages about this.
I do. The biggest reason why I started to become a PR, so our PR company, is because I didn't like PR. Right. So I had a PR agent and, I gave her either a percentage of sales and another one who I gave a monthly fee, and I didn't get anything. And I was like, I'm paying for your time. Why should I be paying for your time? It doesn't make sense. I want to pay like all other businesses for results. Like you can easily track SEO. You can easily track PPC, but you can't track PR. So I reversed the model and thought, okay, if I get in touch with all the publications to start with, and I have a really good story and I build those connections, can I guarantee to get somebody in a really good publication such as Forbes or Entrepreneur, providing they have everything that the publications went? So I contacted over 100 people at different publications and I asked them, if I get, what is your tick box criteria? And then if I was able to understand what they wanted, I could bring on clients who fit them. And it was a really easy job. And we exploded within the first quarter. We had over 100 clients just because people thought, yes, this makes so much sense. And coming back to where you were saying, what is PR? I generally think it's about building trust because if I wanted to work with you, what's most likely are you going to do? You're going to Google somebody, you're going to look at their digital footprint, you want to find out their testimonials, their case studies. Are they somebody that you trust, not only with your time, but also with your finances and your business? And that's what really PR is. It's about creating that online digital presence, but also showcasing what you've really been able to do.
Yeah. Do you feel that in the sort of world we're in now, which is very much a social media world, do you feel that it's 100% needed for exposure? Because realistically, there's a lot of people out there, they do want to build brand awareness, and it can be hard organically initially. And then, when you go viral, you go viral. But do you feel that it's actually needed for people to build brand awareness these days?
There's so many other people doing what you do. It's about what stands out. Just getting into Forbes. So many people have got into Forbes. It's not different. How about something exciting? One thing we're doing at the moment is Apple News. No one's really heard of Apple News, but it's going to be the next big thing because it's getting so much traction. It's about what are you doing that's going to be different, that people are going to go onto your profile and they automatically think, do I like this person and can I potentially trust them? And PR is an amplifier in that.
Yeah. Do you feel that there's certain publications that end up from sort of the social aspect that become sort of blacklisted, everybody did that? Do you feel that it goes that way and then you have to just quickly adapt and move on? Or do you feel that every publication has its place in the marketplace?
Okay, coming back to the kickboxing model,
Okay.
I like imagining PR as a black belt system.
Yeah.
So no matter if you've created an incredible business, if nobody knows who you are, the publications, they just do not care. You're not going to get Forbes knocking on your door saying, come on over, I'm going to feature you, right? So it's about building up your online digital presence. And not just in PR, that's also, for example, having a podcast. That's a great way to show your community about what you're really doing. It's about getting on TV and having a massive amplified message. But it's also about how you funnel it. Because if you get into a huge publication and say that you have a lot of leads, where are they going to go? They're going to go to your link tree, or they're going to go to your website. And then it's really thinking about what's your user conversion looking like. And if your user conversion isn't there, then they're not going to come to clients anyway. So it's about creating what's different in order to lead them into that funnel.
So how important would you say it is to niche down on a publication actually suits your niche? Do you feel that you can just have like a really broad, go for any publication and just to be out there, just to have yourself linked with a name? Or do you feel it's quite important to niche down right from the start?
It depends what kind of PR you're looking for. If you're looking for digital footprint, it doesn't really matter what the publication is, because you just want one that's got a strong domain authority. It's going to rank on Google. I'm going to type your name or your company name in, and I'm going to see that article. If you're looking for leads in specific, or you're going to use it as part of a email marketing campaign or a LinkedIn post, then 100% you want to go into an industry-led publication.
And in the publications that you work with over time, there's certain ones that have sort of better reputation and more desirable to be in, like the Forbes, Entrepreneur, probably now Apple News. Which one, are some easier to work with than others? Because I can imagine some of them, they're very particular about their brand and who gets put in the publication.
So one thing, if you are looking to get into top tier, you have to do the tick boxes from the contributors. And one of those is having previous articles within your specific niche, unless you have a very strong online brand. So therefore, a lot of the time, the smaller publications are just tick box exercises that you need. The larger publications, they want to say, okay, what's different? So I had a Forbes piece, and that Forbes piece was talking about how to go viral on PR. And previous to the PR company, I had a tech company. And only using PR, we had 100,000 people on our website overnight. Website crashed. Very problem to have, but very stressful. And we had 500,000 users on our platform within 6 weeks, only using PR. So yes, it can generate leads. And Forbes was like, that's an incredible story. You kind of crash the internet, of course we'll take you. So they also want to have some kind of content that their readers are genuinely going to enjoy and to leave feeling they've learned something or they're inspired by something new. So it's not just about the PR company putting you forward, but if you've got no story to tell, then the piece isn't going to do well either.
And where do you feel PR's going? So in regards to, right, at the moment, social media's got all the eyes on it, right? And probably the best place for awareness, right? People are moving from TV to social media, and also because of the platforms too, right? Do you feel it's better to have some sort of PR online in one of the bigger on one of the bigger platforms or on mainstream TV?
It really depends where you're going. I personally like online, assuming you have an online business. Again, it comes back to the trust. Someone wants to work with you, they're going to Google you. So you can add your PR into your email signatures, into an as seen on section within your website. You can convert it into a blog. But it's about how you're really utilizing it. Just getting an article won't do anything for you. I don't think PR gives you leads. I think it helps you create better conversion. So it's really how you leverage it. And also, if you look at the biggest kind of online names like Grant Cardone, like how much money Gary Vee, Grant Cardone, all these big guys spend in PR, that it has to be something there. And it's about being able to control your reputation, but also to be putting yourself out there. And if your competitor is turning up number one in Google compared to you, they're going to be getting all your leads. So it's actually also thinking about what's everyone else doing? What can I do within the PR space? And then how can you make your PR different?
And what do you think's been the most successful PR campaign that you've ran? You don't have to say who it is, but where has it gone, and what's come of the PR campaign?
Interestingly, towards yourself, it's actually been helping somebody get awareness for their particular company that they're selling. And they wanted to put out more PR campaigns in terms of, this being an incredible company, what specifically they were doing, and really well thought pieces. And because of that, they got tremendous amount of awareness to potential buyers. And the second one is raising investment. A lot of time with tech platforms, the investors come back and they say, nobody knows who you are. You have a great idea. What else are you going to do about it? So they're able to leverage the PR, put it into their pitch deck, and within 7 days of one particular piece going, they closed 800K. And that was so fast. And it was because they were like, I've seen you're being picked up by the media. Let's go for it.
That's insane. So
I was really proud of that one.
Yeah, definitely. Should have had a kicker on the end of it. So I seen a bit of copy on one of your posts, right? And it said it was from PT Barman, and one said, "Without publicity, a terrible thing happens. ... Nothing." And I feel that's quite powerful. But if we flip it with publicity, what do you feel does happen? I just give two good examples, but if you put them aside, what would you say would be, if I had to say, what's the 3 key things that come from publicity? Because it can be good or bad, or is all publicity bad or good,
I don't believe all publicity is good.
That's what I meant to say.
I quite don't. However, going back to why, if you don't do anything, no one knows who you are. Now, if you want to remain silent, that's absolutely fine. But if you want to put yourself into a TED Talk, or you want to speak at a huge event, you want to get more customers, and they need to know, they need to like you, they need to be aware of you, have that visibility and have that trust, because otherwise you're really lacking behind. I would also say, if you're not putting yourself out there, then somebody else will. And it comes down to kind of your marketing yourself and the PR of yourself. Marketing yourself is getting eyes on you, but PR is helping that conversion, and they really work hand in hand.
Okay, cool. So let's move on to your NFT project, 15 Love. Where did the inspiration come from initially?
So I do a lot of PR for blockchain companies and also NFTs in specific. A lot of the time they want to put the PR articles into their Discord groups, or they want to show there's a bit of a buzz. And there's also something going on, especially utility projects. So previously I was a tennis player, ran the largest tennis tournament company in the UK. I'd been working massively on a golf DAO and some other quite sports specific. So we thought, why not bring together tennis and NFTs? And we created 15 Love, specifically a utility-backed project. So you get to meet the tennis players and the tennis stars and household names every single month, but also educating the community on how exactly we can bring tennis to the NFT space and acting as a launch pad for brands.
Awesome. So these meetups that people get to meet the tennis players, where do these take place? Are these online? Are they in person? And if they are in person, is it geographically, how does that work out as someone from, say, the States buys the NFT and the meetups in the UK? How does that work?
Mm-hmm. So we partnered with MailChimp and QuickBooks. So we just previously had our first kind of meetup in Wimbledon, which was great. In terms of going forwards, we have Metaverse. We have a really cool tennis court. My brother's put a DJ on there. We have a podcast place as well in there, which is really fun. The second being on Zoom. So for people who are virtual, they get that experience. And then the third being in person.
That's awesome.
So all 3 areas, really.
So where do you see it going long term? So the metaverse is obviously going to continue to grow over time. But where do you see this going long term? And, do you feel that there's any other one, like competition-wise in the marketplace, that you're racing against? Or are you sort of leading the way with this?
We're leading the way with this particular project. And I say that with slight hesitation because it's kind of hard leading the way when no one else has done something similar. One of the biggest barriers within the tennis space is the lack of being able to meet players, because they're just that one person, they're generally training and they're at tournaments. So we wanted to increase the amount of tennis participation in the NFT space by giving them access to something that hasn't happened so far. Of course, it's happened in other sports, but tennis were the first, and yeah, with that has come challenges, and we're trying to figure out things as they go on. But it's really fun being the first because there's no rules, right? It means we get to create them ourselves.
That's awesome. And with so all NFT projects, marketing and awareness is the biggest thing. And you're probably in the best place to create that awareness based on what you do. But is there anything else like sort of off the wall you've been doing? I understand you partner with influencers to bring that to the table and the stuff that you're doing. Is there anything off the wall that you thought about doing or anything you've done already?
Yeah, the biggest thing was probably a TikTok campaign. It reached about 2 billion views.
2 billion. Wow.
Yeah, which was great, with QuickBooks and MailChimp, and they included that as part of their competition. We're going on to, I can't say the TV shows, but huge TV news places. A lot of it has been community focused though, and educating people about how to get into the NFT space, especially in the tennis world. It's generally a little bit of an older audience. Yeah. So therefore it's their first time into actually getting a MetaMask wallet and, being able to mint. And that process has been tough, but a little bit different as well.
And what sort of tennis players are you currently working with, and the ones that you're not? Who you sort of, if you could choose somebody that you would like to work with that you're not already working with. So first, who are you working with, and then who's sort of on the sort of target list?
For sure. So we have, for any tennis fans out there, Roscoe Tanner, he was world number 4. Joe Jury, she was world number 1. Alfie Hewitt, he's currently world number 1. Marcus Willis played at Wimbledon. So some really incredible names. Who we'd like to work with, we're speaking to the top British tennis players and the top doubles tennis players in the world right now. So hopefully they'll come join us, and that'll be great.
Yeah, sounds good. Now, you've got a massive network, right? You literally know everyone. You've done a lot of good stuff. You've traveled a lot, which we'll come on to in a sec. But how much of an impact do you feel that sort of being on The Apprentice has had in your extended network after the show?
The Apprentice can make or break you. Oh my goodness. Unfortunately, it really helped with putting me forward, and it put me in a really positive light. Hopefully because I was positive on camera, but you never know with the editors. And because of that, a lot of opportunities, especially speaking gigs and traveling and presenting, came my way. I do think anyone who goes on a TV show, they have a big leverage. And when I say big, I had 22,000 people once on a live with me. Wow. On Instagram. Now I get nowhere near that kind of number. And I just thought, if I could have leveraged it back then, how I could be there. But it's really about what opportunities you want to say yes to, but also those that you want to say no to. And you get flooded with inbound, thousands of messages a day. And it's being able to funnel that in a way that you can create those opportunities for yourself and still stay very grounded as well. So
I see that a lot of people that come off the back of TV shows, I always look from the outside, and I'm always like, they could do more to leverage where they are. And I understand it's very overwhelming at the time. I can imagine coming off a TV show, all the attention, all the messages, all the different speaking gigs, like what do I choose, what's right, what's not, and you probably have a team in the background as well. Looking back, what would you have done differently to increase the benefits of that leverage?
I'd probably say I would have had more going on social media, in the sense that when you do have that inbound, it's quite a lot. But I didn't know what I was doing then. I wasn't a social media user. I didn't used to post. So actually leveraging the community that I had back then, maybe I could have done something better. Maybe I spent too much time trying to grow the business rather than working on my personal brand. So many what ifs. But I'm glad I played it the way I did.
Definitely. And the experience that you took from it, because there's a lot of competition, and it's a lot of pressure, because someone that's come from a sporting background like yourself, naturally you're competitive, you want to win, right? Some people don't come from a sporting background. From experience wise, what did you take from it in regards to like discipline, consistency, because that's very hard as well, and then also like a winning edge? Did the pressure that you was under, did you take much from that experience?
I like to win.
Yeah.
I don't stop until I win, no matter what it is. I just want to win. Probably from the competitive tennis side, of growing up and getting onto the court, just very similar to The Apprentice as in business. When you had The Apprentice, you had a lot of curveballs in the way. So you're doing really well at a task, and suddenly, there's one episode, and we went to the Body Expo exhibition in Birmingham. And I just qualified as a PT at the time, had to go onto stage and sell this gym equipment. And I get onto stage expecting to have, my batter ropes here, my squat stack, and there's no equipment whatsoever. And there's an audience of over 1,000 people watching me. And I'm like, we're going to have a press-up competition. And it's just about being able to create and change no matter what they throw at you. And just like in tennis, you don't know who your opponent's going to be. You don't know how the weather's going to be. You don't know what kind of referee you're going to get. You don't know how you're going to play internally. And because I'm so internalized at what I do from being a sports person, and I was the only person who could impact what happened on the court, it was the same as The Apprentice, and being able to adapt. And, you know, if you didn't win one week, being able to change your thought pattern in the next week. If something happened during the task, being able to be very reactive, but then also being able to defend yourself and explain the rationale between decisions you made while you're in the boardroom was really key as well.
And is there anyone from back then that you still stay in touch with now, or has everybody kind of just moved on?
We have a WhatsApp group,
really,
which
still?
is really sweet.
Oh, cool.
We're not so active anymore, but I think a lot of people have pursued what they wanted to do, which was really nice.
That's good. And look, you're an avid traveler, right? You're always on the move. I was shocked that you're still in the UK. So you're kind of like Nomad. All the places that you've traveled, what's been your favorite to date and why?
My favorite to date would probably be Fiji. I went there and I went diving with sharks, snorkeling. I got like local with the locals. I taught Zumba to the Fijian rugby team. Just having those experiences, being able to try something different and to put yourself out there and not worry about what anyone else thinks, because you're in a new country, you don't know anybody, you're there to be yourself and to continuously reinvent yourself and level up. That was such an incredible experience.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
You're like, I want to go to Fiji now.
Yeah, it's a long way, but I need to go. And also on the travel, how big? So travel can open up many doors, right? But also I feel that it's important because you experience new things, you understand culture more. I feel that the world needs more of that, right? And I feel that travel does open those doors. How big has travel played in you growing your business as well and meeting new people and all the other things that come with it?
For sure. So I had, a huge company doing really well at 22, making six figures, and I lost everything when COVID happened. The tech platform was online, the PR agency was online, and I was sitting in the East Coast, where I'm from, and in a coffee shop on my laptop, trying to figure out how to get new clients, how to build funnels, how to get different publications. And I thought, if I'm sat here every single day, why can't I be doing this in the sun? Yeah. And I just went up and I sold my Merc, and I just went. And I thought I'd figure out on the way, but I did have something stable before I went away. Yeah. In terms of leveling up, you're forced to level up. I don't think you level up unless you go through pain. The pain for me was losing my business, having a breakup during lockdown, losing everything that I'd built. And unless you're going through pain, which you can do when you're traveling, because you have to level up very quickly, you have to get your income up, you don't go through that. And being able to meet different people, hear what they're doing online, find out what's working, what's not working, you're forced to grow. And it's that growing aspect which I really find challenging and I love when I'm traveling.
Yeah, and that sort of competitive edge that you have, again, from business, sport and everything else, sort of meeting new people and learning new things, I suppose it keeps you teachable as well. Do you feel that if you're not just the UK, but wherever you're from, do you feel that just it's quite a talking point that everyone talks about, level up and meet new people and stuff, but do you feel that your mind just naturally opens up if you travel rather than just being sat in the same place?